Prisma is a next generation Node.js in TypeScript ORM. Before getting started, I want you to introduce you to Prisma. Basically, you will define the models in Prisma schema language, and these models will be converted into database tables. That is the magic of Prisma. Here, let's say I have a Prisma schema file. I defined this user model. Here we have the post model. We're gonna write in this format. You can also add relation very easily. Now the main benefits of Prisma is you don't need to write manually SQL queries. I just wrote the data model in the schema.prisma file, which is this model user, and the Prisma framework has functionality to convert these models into SQL database. Here you can see that which is user table, and we have the ID, email, and the name. If you have to write the complex query, there are a lot of joins, there are a lot of relations. Now you don't need to write these complex queries. All you need to write is model in the object relational way. They have designed their own Prisma schema language. You gotta follow the same syntax to define the models, and these models will be converted into database tables. If you are using NoSQL, MongoDB database, it will be converted into documents. Now we're gonna build the basic application to understand the Prisma. When we build the application, the more you will understand about Prisma, how Prisma works, what are their functionalities, what are the main features. I just created the empty folder in the VS Code. You can do the same way. You must have the empty folder. Now I want to create the package.json file first. So we have package.json file. So I have done the package.json file. Now we need to install the TypeScript because we're going to use TypeScript or TS node. You have to install these two dependencies. Npm install TypeScript and TS node. Basically there are three dependencies, and we also need typings for node. Make sure you install these dependencies as a dev dependencies. So dependencies have installed successfully. You can verify from the package.json file. Now we're gonna move toward our next step, which is tsconfig.json file. I'm gonna create tsconfig.json file. Here I will add a little bit typings. I will add the compiler setting configurations. This will be specifically for TypeScript. So I'm gonna copy the same code here because this is not a TypeScript course. source map to true, so you can debug the source code, which is our out directory, which is dist. When you build the project, when you're going to deploy the TypeScript project, the build format or the JavaScript will be stored in the dist folder. You can use strict true or you can set it as a false. I would like to use the latest version of ES6, ES7 or ES8 or ES9. I don't know what is the next version of JavaScript. So it will allow you to use import or export. I think so, ES6 import. So we created the tsconfig file. Now we need to install the Prisma as a dev dependency. So we have installed Prisma as a dev dependency. So what do I want to use in this basics module? I'm going to use SQLite database, but we will use Postgres in the later videos. You can use NoSQL database. Prisma supports 4 to 5 databases. I would like to initialize the setting as a SQLite. npx means I didn't install Prisma globally. If you have installed Prisma CLI globally, then you can run without npx. I installed the Prisma as a dev dependency, so I can use it as a global by using the npx. Please initialize the data source provider with SQLite. Here it has generated the schema.prisma file. Let me open the Prisma. Here we have the schema.prisma file and we have the SQLite database. It is getting the database URL from the env folder. The database file which will be stored inside the same folder. We don't have any database right now because Prisma will create automatically for us when you migrate the database, when you migrate the models. So far we have initialized the SQLite database. Now it's time to create our first model. We're gonna create this course model. The type should be int. You can also run a little bit functions here. ID, it is an ID field. You can also set it as an auto increment. ID at default is equals to auto increment. It will automatically increment this value. And the next property for the course is title. The type is string. And we have the description property. The type is string. And we have duration property. We are building the basic type of Udemy clone because Udemy website has courses and instructors. Type should be float. And instructor, the type should be, I don't need to create instructor type yet because this is a relationship between two models. Let's make it simple. So now we have created the Prisma model. So how can you create the database table? There is a command you have to use it. We don't have any migration. When you update the schema file, if you want to make the changes in the database tables, you have to run the migrate command. npx prisma migrate, please run the migrate and name it as a init. This is our first migration. If you did not give me the name, you just need to run the npx prisma migrate dev. It is going to ask me the name of your migration. I'm going to say init. So it has created the SQLite database dev.db with the name. Here you can see that dev.db database has created. I'm going to use external SQLite extension. I'm using this extension SQLite viewer to view my database. You can enable this plugin. So by using this extension, I can open the database. Here you can see that we have the course table. It has created the course table with this field ID, title, description, and the duration. Let's say I would like to add more field, or I would like to update the schema. Let's say I want to add another field, date time, and you can say default dot now. Default date is now, the current date. But how can you make changes inside the course table? I told you, you need the migrate command. I can give the name update course, add new field. You will have another migration, this one. So they have added the date field. Let me look at the database file, which is our def.db. I can open into the SQLite viewer. That's nice. We have the date field here. Actually, I can say that created at. Instead of date, I'm gonna say created at. So you have to follow the same functionality. npx prisma migrate def, name, update, date field. So another migration, you will see the created ad. In the previous video, we set up the Prisma, we created the schema, we created models, and we converted that models into database tables. Now let's create another model, which is video, because a course can have many videos. So there is a one-to-many relationship between course and the video model. Similarly, we will have another one-to-many relationship. An instructor can create many courses on Udemy. There is also one-to-many relationship between instructor and a course. Let's create another model, which is video. Basically, I want you to set up the challenge for yourself and create a video model with title field and the description field and the URL field of the video. I want you to stop the video and set a challenge for yourself and do it. Alright, let me show you how to create a model video. I'm gonna copy the same thing. Title, description, and the URL. It could be S3 file, Google Drive file, or Vimeo file, or Wistia file. Your video can be hosted any hosting platform. So we created the model. Let's create the migration. It could be migrate. Add new model. So we will have another migration for video model. Here we have add new field, which is video model. Let's preview the data from our SQLite browser, SQLite viewer. We have the video table here, ID, title, description, and the URL field. So how can you insert the data into the table with the help of Prisma? Prisma provides Prisma client to insert data into the tables. Basically, Prisma client is a query interface. So if you would like, let's create a new file, script.ts. You can call it any name. Here so let's say I would like to fetch the data from the course model, or I would like to insert the data into the course table. It should be table. So how can you do it? Prisma has a Prisma client. Inside the schema.prisma file, you will see the client. This Prisma client will generate the TypeScript typings for us. Now what I'm gonna do, let's import the Prisma client. We have imported the Prisma client. Let me double check from my project. Yep, we need a Prisma client. That's good. Here let's instantiate a new object of Prisma client. So far we have created a new Prisma client. So we have to start this query engine. I'm gonna create a new function which is main. Or you can call it function main, whatever you want to say. Here we have the main function. Here I'm gonna call the main function. We created it. Now I'm gonna call it. It could be an async function because I'm gonna use promise here. Here I can write the queries. Write queries here. Let's write our first query. Insert the record into course table. We need a course model and insert the record into course, like title, description, duration, and the date. It is going to add the default date. So how can you get the course model? With the help of Prisma client. So I'm gonna name it to Prisma instead of Prisma client. Prisma dot, this is the magic here. The Prisma client has a typing, because here we are generating the client, which is Prisma client.js, and Prisma will have the typing for the course. How can you see that? When you see the Prisma client, I open the type definition file from the node modules.prisma client index.ts, and here we have the Prisma client. Here you can see the course. Got it? I can get the course model here. So course dot, there is an insert or create method. I think there is a create method. You have to provide the data, which is our, let me open the schema file. We have title. Let's say learn Prisma with nodejs, and I'm gonna provide this description step by step. Learn how to use Prisma ORM. We need to add the description. We already did that description. Let's create the duration field, which is 2 hours. I created the decimal points, decimal or float field. You can add points, 2.5 hours. I'm gonna assume in the hours. So it is going to return the promise. So I can use async await here, which is our course, and I'm gonna add the await expression here. Here I'm going to log the course. I'm gonna run the project. npx ts node script script.ts. Let's make it bigger. A record has been created successfully. This is a successful record. You can verify with the help of SQLite browser or SQLite viewer. Let me open it. Here is our first record. ID 1, learn Prisma, description and the duration. One more thing you can add. When you write your first query, the Prisma will instantiate the query engine automatically with the help of lazy loading. For that, I would like to disconnect it. It's an async function. Await Prisma dot disconnect. Let's handle the error. If something went wrong, I can send the error. I'm going to disconnect it and send the error. So I don't know why it is giving me the error here. Now I can add async. Await expression Prisma dot disconnect. Let me format my code. Let's create another course. This time I would like to add learn Gatsby.js. Now you can see that we have the second record, which is learn Gatsby.js. Step by step learn how to use Gatsby. Duration. We have inserted the record. Now I would like to view the record. I would like to run the find query. So I'm gonna comment it out. You can see that I can get the course instance from the Prisma client. There is a method find many, and it is going to return the promise. So I can resolve the promise using await expression. Courses await. Let's log it. Let's log all the courses. Here is an courses array. So we have done video module, we have done insert all record, we found all the records. Now we need to add relationship between course and the videos. There is a one-to-many relationship between course and the video. I want you to create one-to-many relationship. Let me do this for you. Each course can have many videos. So I'm gonna add a video array. That's it. So to create a relation, we have course, I can say that course, this is optional field. You can upload a video without mentioning the course. You can later update the video course ID. So let me add a relation field. It is going to take the fields array. I think so. Fields array. Yep. Here we will add the foreign key. When you build a relationship between course and video, we have one-to-many relationship. So the video will have the foreign key, which is as a course ID. So in relational database, you create one-to-many relationship with this way. But here we don't have any. Let's create a scalar course ID field. Yes. So I'm gonna add foreign key here, which is act as a foreign key. And here references, I'm gonna provide the ID, which is this course ID, this one. This is how you will make the relationship. I'm gonna give you another cool hack here. You can format your code by running this command, npx prisma format. Now you can see the formatting here. So we created the relationship. Now we need to migrate our database. Npx migrate, npx prisma migrate dev, add relation course video. Here is our relationship. They have added the foreign key, which is course ID. If you view your database, let me open the course model. Actually, we need to add a video model. Here you will see the course ID. So relation has added successfully. Now I want you to make a relationship between course and the instructor. First of all, you have to add instructor model. Instructor model will have email, name, and ID field, and then you make one-to-many relationship between instructor and the course. Stop the video and do it. Let me do that. Instructor. I'm gonna copy the ID same way. Email string. It should be the unique name string. You can also add zip code if you want. Zip string country string city string. Let's add a relationship. An instructor can have many courses. So I'm gonna add course array. I'm gonna share you another tactics another hack, another cool trick. When you run the npx prisma format, it is going to add the relationship here inside the course. You can see that we have this instructor id, which is act as a foreign key here, instructor id, and references, it is going to add this one, this id. So we run the migration, add new model instructor, we have instructor model here. Here we have the instructor id. In the previous video, we have created the relation. How can you insert the record by using the relation? Let's say you want to create a video. How can you link the video to the course while creating a new record? Let's say I'm going to create a new course here. We have to create a new video. Let's say create a new video. You can add your course ID while creating a new video. Let's add a new video here. I'm going to add the title here, the video title, learn relation. So we created the title, learn relation. Let me add description. We also need to add video URL. I'm gonna add a dummy URL. You can use any URL here. Now we also need to add the course ID. I have to tell to Prisma this video is related to this course, learn gets pay. No, this video belongs to Prisma course. If I check the DB and I can view all the courses. So we have the Prisma, the ID of this Prisma course, which is 1. So I'm creating a video for the Prisma course. So here I'm gonna add course ID, which is 1. So I can log the video. Make sure you add the await expression. Let's run the script. So we have successfully created the video with this course ID. If you want to find all the videos with course, you can also do that. Video prisma.video.find many. You can add course here. Please include is going to tell Prisma when you find the videos, please also attach the course object. So we have the error. Include should not be empty. So the course. That looks good. So I got the video object. Basically, this is an array. All the videos. We have only single record in the videos table. So we have one video. This video belongs to this course, the Prisma course. Include is giving me the course object. Don't worry, we will learn more about relation in more depth in the future modules. So far we have completed this module. When I was learning this Prisma, I have some questions in my mind. Let me talk more about these questions, and I found the answers for these questions. What is data source? Data source determines which database do you want to use. Actually, I'm talking about this database. This one. What do you mean by data source? Data source determines which database do you want to use. Do you want to use SQLite, SQL, MongoDB? You also have to specify your connection URL with authentication, which is our database URL. We specified into the .env file. Here. We don't need to add authentication here for SQLite, but when you are connecting with MySQL, Postgres, you need to add your username and password. What language Prisma file is following? Schema file. Prisma file is written in the schema file is written in Prisma Schema Language, PSL. This one. Why do we need generator? I'm talking about this generator. This one. It will generate the TypeScript types for your models. What do we mean by generating typing? Here, I'm talking about these types. When you access the Prisma, it is going to give me all the models. Let's say Prisma. Here you can see the models. Prisma client has generated or created the types for me for these three models. How migration works: when you run the Prisma migrate, it will automatically run the Prisma generate command. Prisma generate command to create the typings for your models. Why do we need Prisma client? It is used to generate the types for our models. This one is for TypeScript. It will create the types using the Prisma schema so that your application will be completely type safe. I'm talking about the same typing like the same. I'm talking about this one, instructor and the video. You can see the types in the node modules I showed you in the previous video. Node modules, Prisma client index.d.txt. When you command and click, you can see the typings. Here inside the typings, I can see my models. This one, user, post, instructor, and the course and the video. We have learned how to create a relation between two models. A relation is a connection between two models in the Prisma schema. You basically create connection between two models with foreign key. A user has many posts. Post table will have the user ID as a foreign key. I'm talking about as a relational database. But you can define the relation in Prisma using @relation function. The fields array will have the foreign key. The references will be the primary key of the first model. Here is an example. The ID, which is primary key, here we need to add, and the author ID, here we need to add author ID as a foreign key. I'm talking about this one. The include is used to populate the data of relationship model. Why do we need to disconnect the Prisma? I'm talking about this one. Why do we need to disconnect the Prisma? When you run the first query using Prisma client, it will start the Prisma client automatically using lazy loading. Here, we're running our first query. Let's say Prisma will instantiate the query engine. Prisma client will instantiate the query engine. So you have to disconnect the Prisma client. You completed your task here. How do you set the database URL? You basically using the env function in the DB URL. I'm talking about this one. That was the whole summary for this module.